Bragging about your hookups in high school when you're 37. That might depend on who you hooked up with. No one that I did is noteworthy, but I went to school with a few people that are now celebrities. I can imagine being able to say you nailed Gal Gadot in high school. Just an example, not someone I know. IRL is still brag material at 37. Oh yes, it would be brag material for life. Hey, wait a minute, Gal Gadot is 32. If you nailed her at grade 12 she would have been 13. Talking about what they got on the sat/app. Son, nobody likes you if do that in high school. This is particularly insidious. People in their 30s with no real career or success attempting to talk down to you because they got a slightly higher than average ATA. It's comical seeing people like this not realize that school success and life success are not mutually exclusive. Those dads that shout at referees at children's sport games. My dad just yells at me. There's no crying in baseball. The beatings will continue until morale improves. The mid-20-year-old guy who still hangs around high schools trying to pick up on the high school girls who are mature for their age. That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age. This guy.
How do you do, fellow kids?
When they continue to honor the popularity hierarchy and talk about who hooked up with whom, as if it's still relevant information. This perfectly summed up my 10-year high school reunion. What a waste of time. My 10-year reunion was the first and last reunion I went to. I recently happily skipped my 25th. My 10-year reunion was cancelled due to lack of interest. I'm 46, but I'm aiming to peak at 75. Well, the halfway point is at 92. Nowhere is safe from RuneScape. Crab $11 crab. When I was in college there was a guy who wore his high school football jersey everywhere, all the time. He wasn't built like a linebacker either. Maybe he played wide receiver. Maybe tight end. Probably the kicker. People who peaked in high school still tend to have that clique mindset as adults, in my opinion. I went to my 10-year high school class reunion. Haven't attended another for this very reason. I never graduated, so I never got invited to a reunion. Which is funny, because it probably would have been really entertaining. I have a friend who wears her cheerleader uniform every single year for Halloween. She will then post a picture on Facebook every single year and say, look, it still fits. Does yours? You are 50 years old. It is time to move on. Edit. Okay. Too many people to respond to. So quick summary. Yes, it does really still fit. Yes, I agree it is impressive. No, I won't post pics. I like this person. No, she is not a She is actually a really nice person. Possibly the nicest I know. She is one of those people who is super nostalgic and in a sense did peak in high school. She will post photos and videos from cheer camp, halftime performances, etc. She is also very much into her kids' high school experience. Her daughter is a cheerleader. Her son was a football player. Still wearing a high school ring. Buying a high school ring always seemed like a giant waste of money to me, right? Like, how can you stunt on anyone with a high school ring? Saddest bling there is. I have one, but not to flex. Probably won't wear it long after high school. Wearing your varsity jacket after the age of 20. Man, not gonna lie, this sucks though. Like, that's a nice ass jacket. But no way in hell am I wearing that thing. But like, it was so nice. And now it's all kinds of worked in. Damn man. This is a huge win for me, because I can wear my husband's even though I'm 31. And it's just kind of kitschy. Exhibit A.
What do you do?
I'm a doctor.
Oh nice. Where'd you go to school?
Insert school here.
But where'd you go to high school?
Driving a $110,000 Escalade senior year, then overdosing on meth a few years after graduation. Did that actually happen? Sadly, yes. He was a great person too. I can't provide enough information without giving the high school I graduated from or his name to prove it, but we graduated in 09. My ex called me and told me was really ducked up. Dude had it made and is dead because of meth. Wearing your high school class ring for way too long. Same with Letterman jacket. Sounds like someone who doesn't rake in $31.11 hour with full bennies and unlimited laser printing privileges. Recently reinstated company gas card. Running into someone who bullied you in high school years later and they still act like they did in high school. Yes. Or when you run into your bully you've graduated with, and they act like we are so close to. Edit. I know people change as time goes on. I've forgiven a lot, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be so excited to be a friend of someone who would go out their way to get an unnecessary rise out of me just cause they think it's fun. I know some people are able to eventually be friends with their bully after. I wrote this comment cause the original post said something about bullies. Not that big of a deal. Reminiscing about high school all the time. I honestly barely remember any of it, and I'm only 30, but I have much older relatives who talk about junior year in 1977 like it just finished. I graduated 10 years ago, and I struggle to even remember my teachers' names. Just wait a few years and high school will be nothing but a vague memory. I'm realizing now that I remember high school in the sense that I recall going, but pretty much everything else is a blur. If you are in high school and struggling, these are good things to keep in mind. Had a friend who dreamed of being popular ask why I don't try harder to fit in, because she felt I could be one of the cool kids. I just laughed, because in a few short years, no one will give a shit and nothing we did in school will have mattered. 31 years old, can confirm, nothing we did mattered. Lies, high school cringe memories still haunt. Also 31 years. This right here, in moments of quiet reflection, is when one's stupid brain decides to relive the most cringe-tastic moments of youth in excruciating emotional detail. When I was 21, working nights at a pizza and beer bar, trying to get out of junior college and get out of town, I had a high school acquaintance say to me, "Well, I guess we are past our peaks now." I said if I believed that was true I'd kill myself. Well, in fairness, I've never been thinner or faster than in HS. But man have I been happier than those days. Not only that, I was a ducking idiot in high school. I'm a better person by any possible measure now than I was then. The day I don't think man, duck 3 years ago me is the day I begin to die. Obsessing over the 10-year reunion. I was guilty of this one. Got a fancy haircut, lost 15 pounds doing a liquid diet, got circumcised, and rented a BMW, just to show people I had changed since high school. Hey guys, look, it's old Freddy Foreskin all grown up. Drops trousers. I don't think you'll be calling me that anymore, fellas. Single moms who never left their hometown and constantly post their pyramid scheme macupads on Facebook. Just curious the bad of never leaving their hometown. Shit, I'm 40. I live about 30 minutes from the hospital I was born in. It usually means small rundown towns with no prospects. Where I grew up, you either left town to go to college/work, got lucky and lived decently, or went on welfare and rotted away. Dad was lucky. I left. We both did. Actually, in this age of social media, anyone who tries to set up a reunion and gets upset that people can't show up, our reunion crew bit off way more than they could chew. Their plan required literally half the graduating class to buy a ticket, which was $100, and making it even more expensive than our prom's ticket. A lot of people don't even live here anymore, guys. They got almost no bites and the whole thing faded away. Mine was organized by the popular people at a venue charging $75 admission with no thought of asking everyone's opinions. Someone said, "Duck, that I'll be at this bar if anyone's keen for a drink," and that's where we all went. The bar ended up giving us free finger food for how much we were spending, so that was nice. For my brother's 10-year the popular kids did a similar thing, so a bunch of the normal people went to a pub. Turned out that the bartender graduated the same year, but never got an invite. Still got to see a bunch of his old friends though. The story always puts a smile on my face based on this girl that I dated. Being hung up on the fact that you were popular back in high school and thinking that high school popularity is something that marks you for life. I guess she thought that being popular in high school meant doors will be opening up for you for the rest of your life. She flat out refused to believe me that nobody gives a shit. Maybe popularity in an Ivy or someplace that opens doors for you means something, but in high school mayo, even out of an Ivy, if we take popularity to mean being well liked and connected, that's something you gotta actively work at. She's deluded if she thinks the approval of fellow teens is something that will mark her forever. I had a guy give me grief for being in AP classes 6 years after we graduated. Pretty sure he peaked in high school, if those were the first things he had to say to me. How the hell does someone remember their classes 6 years later, let alone someone else's lol? Lots and lots of jealousy.